Alright, this is going to be interesting. Alright, so here's my interesting attempt at tasting and reviewing new Coke. I'm not old enough to remember a new Coke when it came out, even though I was 6 or 7 in the whole drama about it. But thanks to Stranger Things, new Coke has been released. Special release for Stranger Things. I actually got 2 boxes of this. You only get one of these in the box, and you get a Coke Zero and a Coke in a bottle and Stranger Things things. But I've never had new Coke. I've always wanted to try it. The rumors is that it's actually sweeter, but according to some of the articles I just read, it's not sweeter. And I was always tempted to find an old one on eBay and just to try it, because I just wanted to try new Coke. But now this is a new, fresh. It's been in the refrigerator since the day it was delivered. And with further research, Coke had switched from sugar to corn syrup about the same time. So they said they announced the change of syrup in November '84, and then new Coke was in spring of '85. So my thinking is that they were working on the new formula at the same time. Now, being an American, we've always had corn syrup for a long time since I've been drinking it. Now, the history of me and my tasting is that growing up, I always liked Czech Cola, which is Winn-Dixie, and there's not many Winn-Dixies left, and I don't know, I always liked Czech Cola. It was cheap growing up, and it was kind of between Coke and Pepsi to me, so I kind of liked Czech Cola. But then I worked on cruise ships in Europe, P&O cruises for a long time, for a couple of years, and this is how I met my wife. And being on the cruise ship, which is P&O, a shipping company, it was hard for me to find a Coke on board in the bar for the staff, and even with the passengers, because the shipment would be coming from many locations. And English Coke, British Coke, to me, taste absolutely horrible. It's so bad that I will drink Pepsi in England. We would also get shipments from bottling factories and from South Africa, of course the British colonies. But whenever we got a shipment or pallet of classic Coke, that's when I would go buy a couple of cases for my room when I was working on the cruise ships. And everyone was always bugging me, why are you buying that Coke? It's on the pallet in the back that they didn't want to open to give to me, when the other Coke is right there in front of me. Because classic Coke to me was always better than the British Coke. Now, I've had Coke all over Europe. I've had Coke in Bangladesh, in Moscow, South America. At the time, I knew it was a little bit different, but not as bad as British Coke. And even a friend of ours thinks that it's different. And if you go to the museum or factory here in Atlanta, they will always say it's the exact same syrup. It's just the filtered water and the sugar that makes it different. And I'm sorry, Coca-Cola. I love you, but I'm calling BS on that, because you go to Coca-Cola and you buy a can or a bottle in England, it's not Coke to me. And again, I will drink Pepsi when I'm in England, because Pepsi, to me, tastes the same everywhere, including England. So if Pepsi can get it right. And everyone at the museum here, they always claim that, it's the water and the filter and the syrup. I know the difference between the sugar, cane syrup, and corn syrup, which new Coke, I don't know if this new Coke is corn syrup. I'm assuming it is. And I don't have that box with me to see the ingredients. And it's not actually on this can.
But there's a number we can call.
Yeah, well, I think all the nutritional documents are on the box that this came in. So I'm assuming this is going to be corn syrup on new Coke. Now, there are claims that the British Coke is just the just the sugar in the water doesn't make sense to me because there's so many bottling plants all over the U.S. and New York public water is amazing. It's one of the best city water. Last time I was in New York, I was just drinking water because it just tastes great. If that's the case, then Coca-Cola bottled in New York would be the best tasting Coke in the world. I mean, but Coke all over the U.S. to me tastes the same. Now there is a difference in bottles, cans, and 2 liters. This is probably me. This is my staple. Most people will drink tea for British or coffee in the morning, but my drink of choice is Coke. And I work in a hot garage all day, so this is my... Yeah, are we good?
Yeah.
Because we only have one take.
I know,
Because I only
that's
have
right.
one can of
I was
Coke,
just making sure nothing happened.
of new Coke. So this is my staple. So I don't know what the story is in England. I'm done complaining about that. So this is my new Coke. I got just a regular canned Coke. I got a canned Pepsi. And then I got Mexican Coke. So this is, just to make sure, this is syrup, yeah, cane sugar. It actually says cane sugar, not just sugar. I'm going to do a taste test with these 5 and just see what happens. This is my staple, so this is what I'm comparing it to. And I do actually notice from time to time with my bottles of 2 liter that sometimes I get hints of lemon in some bottles, and when I find those, they're just amazing. I don't know if my palate changes, because I know that does happen, and I've purposely not had anything spicy, no curry this week, especially today, no curry today. I had another bottle that was probably, I don't know the whole history, but that one didn't taste good, but this one's fine. But not the lemony. Sometimes I do get a good bottle that has some lemon hint to it, and it's awesome. Sometimes I will add lemon. But this is just a typical 2 liter. Again, if you leave 2 liters out in the sun, any UV will kill it, kill the flavor, and it's so bad I'll pour it out. But yeah. What else do I need to say before I tap it? I remember when the new bottles came out. This is just something I've always wanted to mention. I never did. But when these new bottle shapes came out, you guys really screwed that one up because they were about a ½ inch taller than the regular round bottles, and they wouldn't fit in the fridge. And eventually you figured it out and shortened them, which I don't know how they got past your development, but somebody, I guess, complained enough that the Coke bottle shape plastic bottles were too tall for people's refrigerator. So I'm glad you fixed that. But that's when they first came out with the plastic shaped Coke bottles. Alright, and I'm going to pour them in glasses just because during taste tests that's what they would have done. And on the carbonated cans, the cans are usually more carbonated, so I don't mind opening that and pouring it out.
So you're going to have this one first?
Yeah, so I'm going to pour these in the glass because during taste tests they would have them in a glass, not out of the can. Again, they would be more bubbly out of the can. Alright, so let's do new Coke, cane sugar.
And you've had real sugar cane in Hawaii, so.
Yeah, real sugar cane is awesome. There you go.
I'm not contagious.
Yeah, don't worry about my wife. She just has CF. I'm kind of scared. I'm scared I may actually like it.
Which order are you gonna go?
I'll do New Coke. So, just as a note, there was kind of inspired by Glen and Friends Cooking on YouTube. You guys are awesome. Your the DIY Squozen video. Maybe I'll put a link on that. When you actually did that huge taste test, including thumbs up, which being having a lot of Indian drinks, thumbs up. I'm not a big fan. It is a Coke product. RC, I looked today. I didn't see an RC today, but again, it wasn't a whole cola. This is all about New Coke. So inspired by you, Glen and Friends. The video when you have, I guess 10. Yeah, so you had 10 colas, and I know you're a Pepsi guy, and I forgot which one you liked, and you were disappointed in it because you liked the other one, and your homemade ones were pretty cool. All right.
Okay, you didn't come. I'm like.
All right. Here's my. This is my. That's my regular Coke. Classic Coke. I'm scared to try it. That is not Coke. Now, according to Wikipedia, they said it wasn't as sweet, and they said they took some of the acid out. It's totally...
So?
Processing. It's not bad. It's not super sweet. Actually, there's a little bit more sugar in the aftertaste. Kind of a Pepsi aftertaste, I think. Let me compare it to the cane, because that was equivalent to original Coke when they switched the New Coke and cane. So this is what everyone was comparing it to when they switched the New Coke and corn syrup. That just tastes like Coke with sugar, real sugar. Alright, try the regular cane. It's just different.
But not Coke?
It's not Coca-Cola Classic. I mean, it's just... It tastes like a cheap aftermarket cola. And let me compare it to Pepsi, because they're the ones that made a huge market gain when they switched. And I mean, Pepsi's Pepsi. I don't know what Pepsi tastes like. That's a lot of bubbles.
It's not Coke, right?
Yes.
Let me taste the big fuzz.
It's similar.
Yeah. Oh, it's horrible. I don't like it. It doesn't have any sugar.
Yeah, it's not as sweet.
Yeah. Let me try the classic.
Well, that's the sugar. That's the real sugar.
I like the classic. Lemon Pepsi. I don't like Pepsi. I like the regular.
That's just strange.
Yeah, I can see why people made a big fuss.
Yeah, but growing up and talking to friends of mine who do remember a New Coke, they said they didn't like it. It was a big flop, and I don't remember them actually personally saying that it was sweeter. I thought the rumors were that it was sweeter.
No, it's the opposite.
It's not sweeter.
It's not. It's like, I don't know what happened.
There's an aftertaste of sugar with New Coke that's similar to the aftertaste of Pepsi. It's like Coke with an aftertaste of Pepsi, but less sugar. No, I don't know if you knew this or not, but New Coke, they actually continued bottling it after it failed after 3 months. There were 77 days. And they labeled it as Coke 2, and they still bottled it in other states and countries later on. So it was popular until, I think, late or mid-90s. They did completely cancel it.
Well, it's like me going to an Indian restaurant, and then they're serving me like a Mexican spice, claiming to be Indian. It's like, it's not the same. It's like something's off.
I don't understand how, was Coca-Cola scared about the sugar change? Because I can't imagine why they would change to compete with Pepsi. Double check those videos, make sure they're still running.
Yep, they're good.
Okay.
Oh no! Can't record, another app is using the mic.
Okay, well.
This one is good.
Okay, alright, restart that one.
Should I stop? Why is another app being used?
I don't know. Well.
Should I stop this one
No,
first?
no, keep going. This is fine, this is raw. You're probably full. Memory's probably full.
Should I just try again?
Yes. Is it recording again?
Yeah.
Okay, well, continue my thought on that broken video. I don't know if they were changing to corn syrup, they were trying to, I don't know if they were just scared of the sugar change to have to make a whole new formula. I mean, they had to have that in development at the same time. I mean, I can't imagine that corporate was having that much of an issue to want to create a whole nother cola formula. I do know that the bottlers are all complaining about having 2 Coke, and they didn't want to have both, so they were going to cancel the original and make new Coke. But Glen, if you see this video, maybe I'll send you a link. You can go on Stranger Things, Coca-Cola's website. It's direct from the factory, I think. I don't know if they make it here in Atlanta, but when I ordered it, it was like delivered like the next day, FedEx. But yeah, that's just you should add that to your next cola challenge video. Now again, the more I drink it, it's different. It's not Coke. It does smooth out a little. Yeah?
Yeah.
Again, that cola, that cane tastes different too.
Well, just stick with the classic. If it's unbroken, it doesn't need fixing or changing for formula.
Yeah, so luckily for me, when traveling abroad or on the ships, just seeing classic on the label made sure that I got the American drink. And I think that was a trademark issue, because I think once they trademarked Coca-Cola Classic, that ended in 20 years, and that's why they ended up dropping it. But again, our friend mentioned that they're going to go to
Okay, so this one is not working.
Okay, that's fine.
Yep.
I'll continue on that camera because I'm glad I have two cameras because this is my one choice chance to do new Coke. I heard that they're going to start changing the Coke Zero to normal Coke and then start calling the other one Classic and labeling it between the red and the black. I don't know. I'm sure Europe is a little bit different. But this is labeled as original taste. This one say original. That says original. This doesn't say anything. It just says Coca-Cola. I'm guessing that means refreshment in Spanish. You know, I think that's probably better than British Coke. I wish I had a can of British Coke right now to compare it. It just tastes different. It's not bad. I mean, was that your real original? Was that a real reaction that you just didn't like it?
Yeah, it's like something is missing. It's like somebody giving me curry, but the taste is missing a part, missing a spice.
It is missing something. It's just different. It's not bad. It's not like a cheap off-brand. It's not as bad as an off-brand supermarket cola. You know, it's been so long since I've had Czech cola from Winn-Dixie, which I like growing up. Just have a little bit of hints. It's kind of between the two. You know, I may save a little bit for a friend of mine to check taste. All right. Well, all right. Well, I'm glad I had two cameras rolling because I only had one chance to get that. All right. Thanks, baby.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye.